everybody, and welcome to Gen Friends. I'm your host, Sherry Hudson-Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and as usual, we've got a fabulous panel and a fabulous guest. I am so excited for tonight, but let me get everybody introduced. We have got Jenny Hawran. She is from Like Herding Cats Genealogy. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, happy to be here tonight.
I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for being here. We've got Shelley Murphy, our family tree girl. Hello, Shelley.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here too.
I'm so glad you're here. You've been one busy lady, so I'm glad that you're here. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Missed you guys.
Well, missed you too. We always miss everybody when they're not here. And then it's like, where?
Yes.
And people will say, where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? They haven't been on the show.
Yeah.
We've got other things that we do, except for me. I'm always here. We just don't do a show if I can't do it.
Yeah.
We have Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hello, Laura.
Hi.
So good to see you. It's been so long since I've seen you in person. A whole week. We were at a genealogy conference together in South Carolina. So it was a lot of fun to have Laura with me there. I'm usually there every year, but this time she got to come too. So
it was so much fun.
We had a really good time. And last but not least, we've got Melissa Barker, the archive lady. She's here with us tonight.
Hello, everybody.
So good to have everybody there. Guys, we have got Renate Yarborough-Sanders with us tonight. And anybody that does any genealogy knows who Renate is. So we're so excited to have her come. You've been busy. You've been at GRIP. You've been at Maggie. You've been all over the place. You do lots of speaking all over. Yes, Laura?
You need to explain all those acronyms for people that aren't familiar.
Oh.
Because you just said a mouthful.
This is true. Well, GRIP is the Genealogy Research Institute of Pennsylvania, right? Yes.
Yes.
And it's a week-long institute program. Maggie is an institute program, and that's the Midwestern African American Genealogical Institute. Did I say that right, Shelley?
Good job.
And also regarding GRIP, it's virtual and in person.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So they did two different ways this time, but was Maggie was both, right? Virtual and in person?
Yes.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, so Renate's been teaching everywhere. You may have seen her. She's got videos on Legacy Family Tree webinars. She's spoken at Roots Tech. She's spoken at the National Genealogical Society Conference. She's everywhere. She is everywhere. You've also done a series of YouTube videos on Let's Talk North Carolina.
Genealogy.
The genealogy. Yes. So that's really fun too. So those are great. So you're everywhere. So we're just happy.
Seems like it. Seems like it here lately. And in the summertime, I get to do one of my favorite things to do, which is to speak at usually at least one or two family reunions. So I have also done that in the month of July. I don't have a family reunion of my own, so I love getting to speak at other people's.
Oh, that's nice. So what do you do? Do you research their family history and then tell them what you found, or what do you do?
No, they almost always are just looking for someone to talk to the family about how to do, and so far they've all been African American family reunions. So how to do African American genealogy research. But what I do as a gift to the family is I tell them very clearly, I'm not doing research for you.
Yeah.
But I do research a little bit of the family so that I can intertwine their documents and pictures that I might find into my presentation.
I love that. That's fabulous. That's a really great idea. So
it's fun for me.
So I said, oh, sorry, Shelley, you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, question to Renata. Is some of the focus on those family reunions are they North Carolina? Because for folks that don't know, that's her expertise along with others, but really North Carolina, that's the go-to.
All the ones where I have spoken have either been in Virginia or North Carolina so far.
Okay. Got it.
That's a really great idea. I love that. So when I asked Renata to come on the show, I said, what do you want to talk about? She goes, I don't know. And I said, you do everything. So what do you want to talk about? So we decided on this topic, which I absolutely love, and you guys are going to love it. It's what to do when there's nothing to do. I mean, sometimes you just get stuck, right? So we're going to talk about what to do when there's nothing to do. So
right.
Start us off, Renata.
Before I caused Melissa to have a heart attack.
Yes.
Melissa, this title came from a little short talk that I put together I want to say, I think it was that year that Roots Tech asked us all to do 20-minute talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is so
That was
important.
3 years ago.
Yeah, when I dug it up, there were only 9 slides. So I was like, what did I do this for? I want you to know, Melissa, that the nothing is in quotation marks.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So
Melissa
what
said
you
there's
do-
always something to do.
Right.
Greta Grammarian Melissa.
So, maybe you're stuck in your research. Maybe you've even gotten bored with your research. You're
Right.
not getting results. Everything is coming back. You're doing searches and it's stuff you already have, or in my case, stuff I was the one to put out on the internet in the first place.
Yes, and you get those hints back and you're like, that's my stuff.
You just need a break for whatever the reason.
Or
and
there's
so
people that will claim they're done, which I've never understood.
Oh, I hate that.
I'm done.
That will never happen.
No.
But when I looked back at the slides today, I had totally forgotten that I started off with this whole explanation about the genealogical proof standard and what a exhaustive search actually is, and how the exhaustive search is just one part of your research. I had forgotten that I talked about all of that, and I had this nice little graphic that I made out of Elizabeth Shown Mills words and everything. And basically what I started off saying is, before you think you need a break, before you think you are ready to walk away, make sure that your search and your research is exhaustive based on these principles of the genealogical proof standard. And so, I'm not going to do this tonight, but I spent time explaining, what that meant.
Right.
So, do that first, and then you might find that you really don't need a break, that you really just actually have some stuff to go back and do differently or do it better. But if you do decide to hit the pause button, what I did is I suggested some external things to do and some internal things to do. And by external things, I meant things that don't have anything to do with your own personal research, your own personal genealogy. Maybe you're a speaker, and you're working on building your knowledge base, building your expertise on a new subject line or something like that. You would do things related to that. Maybe you just want to do something to help others or help in the community. So those were the first things that I talked about. And so I would love to give some examples of those and have you all, just chime in,
That's great.
Sounds good.
Great.
So the first external thing was helping others. And that could be client work if you're a person who takes clients, or it could be helping a friend, because if you're like me, you have this list of people that you would never charge, that you say, I'll help you when I find some time. I've got you on my list,
Oh, yeah.
Call, I'll look at it when I can. So go to that list and start, helping those people. Also, I've seen people who will come on Facebook, for instance, and make a post and say, hey, I'm going to be at the South Carolina Archives. I'll help, I'll pull for the first 5 people that respond to this post. Or I'm going to National Archives, or I've got 3 hours, I'll help the first 10 people.
Right.
So just do something to help other people.
Good idea. That's a great idea.
Great idea.
Yeah.
And so the next thing I have that I talk about is jumping in and doing some transcribing and indexing in the genealogy community. Everything that we are fortunate to see online is because someone took the time to digitize it, and everything that we get in a search is because someone took the time to index it. And so the next step is to transcribe, so that you have all of the wording. And there's so many projects right now. There's crowdsourced projects. I actually found a page on the GRIVA, if you all know about GRIVA, GRIVA.
Yeah.
They have a page on their, I guess it's a blog or website. Maybe it's a website.
Website.
With all kinds of transcription projects for different localities. They have Virginia, they have North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I saw them from all over. And so I would highly suggest, if you're interested, that you go there, or you go from the page.
Yeah,
and,
we need to put the link and yeah, we'll put the link in. So
okay, I'll get that for you.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have any of you done any? Well, I know one of the people on here that has, that's been involved with any transcription projects.
I've done a lot for Family Search.
Yes, and I had that on there too.
Yeah, yeah.
I did some transcribing when I have time for a newspaper project that Tania Kuntz heads up out of Tennessee. So yeah, she's been doing that. So I've done some of that.
And she's going to start one for North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Doing the same thing. Yes.
Good.
I actually owe Melissa a transcription that I started of a German letter that until you brought this up, I forgot again.
You mentioned it in South Carolina. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that for Melissa.
I know. And then I've done some, I don't know why, it just says I've done several German projects, and I think it's very interesting because you go to another world, to a different culture.
Yeah.
You can kind of immerse yourself in something unfamiliar.
Nice.
Well, that's how I feel when I'm transcribing, looking at deeds and wills. It's like, what? You know, but
it
yeah,
gets your
I
creative
help a little
juices
bit.
going. You know, I think like Renate is saying, it gets your creative juices going too.
Yeah.
And gives you some ideas will come to you about where you're stuck, I think, when you're doing other things, when you're not thinking about the fact that you're stuck.
Well, yeah, because you feel productive. And I think like when you're frustrated, that frustration leads to procrastination.
Oh, this is so true.
It does.
That's
so
a
like
good
if
point.
you give yourself that feeling of productivity because you accomplished something else, then it's probably easier to go back to the thing that
and that's also true when we do what we are supposed to do and what we teach others to do, and transcribe the documents that we're using in our research. When we do it,
when we do what we tell people they should be doing.
But once I do them and I save them on my computer, I always feel like, wow, I should have a place to put this, you know, so that others can benefit from the work I just did. But they're just sitting on my computer. So that's something I think we might need to try to figure out is,
that's a good idea.
You know, all of us that are following the supposed rules.
Right.
I love that.
And transcribing our documents, we need a place to put them all.
Jenny, were you trying to jump in and say something?
I was just saying that I feel like it almost uses a different side of your part of your brain, because I started working on this this fireman's minutes from like the 1820s here in my area in Connecticut, and I don't have any ties to that, but somebody had hired me to do that, and it was just a different way of thinking because I didn't have a connection to it. I wasn't researching that for myself or a client necessarily. And it just was very gratifying to kind of, I don't know, it's just a different part of your brain. That's all the way I could describe it. So
Thank you. Hit it. Yeah.
And Shelley, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Sorry.
Yeah, I was making a point when we were talking about transcribing and also us thinking at something. I went back to a will because I was researching something, and I went back to the transcription, which had been transcribed. And I thought, I never looked at the witnesses. I never tapped in to research them because they were witness. And again, I'm thinking because I transcribed it and, myself, and then, had it checked. But then I started seeing these same names on the other thing that I was doing. This is what my UVA, and it's like, wait a minute. I know these names. And again, so coming from a simple transcription of like a 2-paragraph will, I now have 5 different folks to also go for additional research. And I'm looking at the community and what was happening around there. So I think it's an excellent point. But the last thing is anytime you give, you receive. So when you do those volunteer things like transcribing, helping others and things that she listed, it's going to come back on you. It will come back to you per se.
I agree.
So
and I was going to say too, Shelley, that
it.
sometimes we have to go back and look at documents because we've learned something. You know, maybe when we first looked at the will, we didn't know we were supposed to pay attention to the witnesses, right? So
I hear Bernice Bennett in my ear because she doesn't talk following the witnesses.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's great. These are great ideas, Renata.
I'll tell you something that's helpful for me, and I think that me and Shelley have a real kinship in this, is that I do timelines for all of my ancestors.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about just my direct line. I'm talking about every single person I research, I do a timeline for. So when I am at that point and that I don't necessarily get frustrated, I get kind of like, okay, where to next? I'll go look at that timeline, and I'm telling you, those holes will just jump off the page. Yeah. So if you haven't ever done a timeline for your ancestor, do a timeline.
Absolutely.
And I think you'll be surprised by, oh, wait a minute. There's nothing between this time and this time.
Yes.
And it'll give you research ideas.
Exactly.
I couldn't agree more. I absolutely agree. And the same thing goes when you're ready to tell their stories.
Yes.
Because you can see what happened and then you can also see, well, what else was going on. And it can make you understand the story a lot more, understand the impact. And that leads you to more resources that you maybe haven't explored.
I think writing the story, Laura is very instrumental in writing the stories. I think that goes hand in hand with timelines. When as you're writing the story, you think you've got it all. But once you start writing it, you're like, wait a minute, I don't know that. Why don't I know that? And then it'll make you go and look for that piece of information.
That's right.
Yeah. It's
well,
almost like a form of evaluation, Renata. I was going to ask you to mention about that, looking at a document and evaluating or qualifying it or looking at it, you know, and what's next.
Yes.
You know, what's next? I'm always telling that, you know, and sometimes they'll say, and as Dr. Shelley Murphy says, what's next?
What?
Yeah. Well, I did have a few more that were external, and some of what you guys were talking about is what I have on the internal side. So we won't even have to spend much time there. But on the external side, I did have writing, you know, so this is when you put your research aside, it's a good time to write. And again, because I'm talking about external, so this would be maybe your professional writing, what you're doing for the genealogy community, or you're working on a book, or you're writing an article at whatever level you're ready for, you know, because it's a big difference between writing an article for your local society's newsletter versus writing for the Q or writing for the journal or something, you know. So build your writing skills up at whatever level you need to. And another thing I thought about today when I was thinking about this is it also could be a great time, if you don't already journal, to start a journal, because what you're doing then is you are leaving something for your descendants.
Yes,
exactly. So, you know, maybe during your little break, it's a good time to get into the habit of journaling. And also reading and educating yourself. And again, this would be about the subject matter that you are considered an expert or want to become expert. You want to start teaching at another level or teaching on another subject. So this is a great time for you to do webinars and watch videos, read scholarly articles, read books, you know, on subject matter or locations that you want to learn more about. This is a great time to do that. And I have two more things on the external side, and that is to get yourself involved with projects. So find or join or continue working with community projects, cemetery projects, DNA projects, you know, whatever, descendant projects, find a project that, you know, that you can get involved with. And then cemeteries was the last thing, like to get involved with Find a Grave, get out there and take some pictures and upload them to Find a Grave, do billion graves. Get involved with local cemetery preservation or cleanup projects. So those are just, and it's not it's not a conclusive list, but those are just some of the things that you can do on the external side of things while you're taking a break from your own research.
I love it. I love it. Bunch of
So,
great ideas. I love it so much because we don't have to just sit back and decide, well, I can't research anymore, so I'm gonna just binge watch this show on Netflix for 3 days.
Right. Because you'll be missing genealogy.
And you got your go-tos.
You'll miss it because it's in us, And in the actual talk, before that I talk about some of the ways that you make sure you're ready for this pause. But if you do it, you have to commit to it. So if you say, I'm taking a break for 2 days or I'm taking a break for a month, you have to commit to it because obviously you need this break for some reason. And so you have to give yourself this piece in between. So
you'll come back stronger with more ideas, and you can just we all take a break from everything. That's why people take vacation, because genealogy, whether you're doing it professional or not, researching your family is like a job, You work hard. You work hard.
I think another external, like Renate says, is maybe even consider volunteering in a local archive, whether that's a historical society or something, because if you volunteer there, you're going to be exposed to some records that you may never have thought about or knew existed. Even if you don't live in the area where your ancestors, but then you'll also get to work with other genealogists.
Yes.
So do they let people just come and volunteer like that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I would not say every society. I wouldn't say every archive, but I would just, offer. I mean, I know that I'm always looking for volunteers. If you want to come to Houston County, Tennessee,
I would love to. Because you want to hear a sad story? I live in Horry County, South Carolina. We don't have an archive. I know we don't have an archive. And so the college library here is starting to collect things. But most everything gets sent up to, well, if they follow the rules, everything gets sent up to Columbia. But I mean, there is no archives for me to just go, because I would love to do that and go volunteer.
And if you can't find a place to volunteer, I'll give you another tip too. Contact an archive and don't show up on their door, because it ain't going to happen. But contact an archive, make an appointment for a tour of their facility, especially their back rooms where the records are. Because many genealogists have no clue what are in those back rooms because they can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if you were to see it, you would, because if you go back in those back rooms, like what's behind me,
and it's cold.
That's
the gold mine.
But look at the spines of the books. Read the spines of the book. Read the labels on the boxes to tell you what the records are, because they're not going to be out there in the research area. I mean, the archivists aren't going to be running out going, "Hey, this is the records that we have." No, it's up to us to do that. And so get a tour of a facility, see what they got in there.
That's a great idea too.
Anything to get your fire, rekindled.
I'll have to add that if I ever do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Laura?
Well, but when you talk about getting your fire going, that's when I think the conferences, and I think also the institutes, but the conferences can really rejuvenate you. And I think it's not just the education, it's seeing the other people, looking at what other people are doing, and then the old "who wants to be a millionaire" dialing a friend kind of thing.
Laura, you make a really good point, because most genealogy research is solitary research. And I think it's amazing when genealogists get together. I mean, I've seen it happen. They get these high voices and and so it's just, but I think that we can, and archivists are the same. We work in our archives and it's solitary, and so when we get together as archivists, we're just like you wouldn't think an archivist would talk that much, but we do. But Laura, you're absolutely right. Going to those conferences, institutes, going to the local historical society meeting.
Genealogical Society.
Watch GenFriends. How's that?
Yeah, watch GenFriends. Yeah. There we go. If you haven't joined your local genealogical society, do it. Even if it's not the county where you're doing research, join it. They're going to have programming that will help you. Again, you can meet some genealogy buddies that can help you as you research. So
don't leave that public library out.
Oh, this is true. Public library.
The local public libraries are another little gold mine. number one, for information, but they know that local community.
That's true.
Yes.
Those librarians.
So when you're not doing your research, so.
Huh? No, I mean to volunteer.
Everything's going to lead you back to your research. Everything.
Of course it is.
All roads lead you back to your research.
Absolutely.
But I do have some more internal, which are focused on now what you can do to help yourself. You're still staying away from it, but these are things that are going to help you with your personal research, directly related to where you research, who you research, the demographic that you research, or something. But the first thing, now y'all are going to love this because every single one of us has been doing this for a long time. Clean up, reorganize, organize your personal files.
Absolutely.
Start with those paper files, make some decisions about those 30 and 40-year-old paper files that you have.
All those emails that started, right?
Scan them or throw them away, or if you know they're online now and you've already downloaded them, throw them away, do whatever you're going to do, and then get to your computer drive and clean up those files, and then get to your pictures. Now, those of us that are seasoned, we have real pictures that you hold in your hand. So you want to go through those, you want to label them, organize them, and then you want to do the same thing with your online photos. So that could take you 2 years.
What a thought to actually have all my photos.
A big break. This is getting to be quite a long break.
You know, that's the first class in track 1A at Maggie.
Yeah, I know.
It's time and file management. That is the first thing. And it is about making the decision on what you're going to do, because we're never going to totally clean it up. But if we start getting consistent,
I at least have everything in folders that are by the last name of my you
got to make the decisions to do that.
Yeah. When we used to all be with paper and pencil, and we were just in the early years of starting to talk to each other online, and people used to talk about their different filing systems. Right. Lots of you were doing color-coded file folders. I've never been a color-coded person.
Me either, Renate. I'm with you, girl. So I can't wrap my brain around color coding.
Mine are text-based.
Daddy's side is brown, mama's side is blue.
No, I didn't do that.
But it wasn't for me, though. It was for her. So she knew if she had a blue folder, that was her family. If she had brown folders, that was her husband's family.
She knew that,
That was for
then
her
your family
over the
start
last
crossing
20
over,
years.
and then what do you do? So, I said, then your families start crossing over into each other.
That's why you have the secondary colors. The tertiary
and then you're just all confused.
They all go in. It's just both sides. It was just something to be consistent.
I think that's a great idea. Whatever works, and that's that's the thing. You've got to do whatever works for you.
Yes.
I like
and you can do some photo scanning. You can do some photo editing. You know, just work with those files and work with those folders. And then here's one for those of us who give talks: create or update presentations.
Oh my gosh.
Start working on new presentations, work on conference submissions. If you need some practice with a presentation, reach out to like local societies or libraries, or I've even heard of, I've never done this, but I've heard of people who will try it out on their friends. So they either get a group of friends together on Zoom, or they might have a couple of local friends and have
I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Suggestion of what not to do.
Okay.
Don't practice on your husband, because when he yawns, you get mad, and it's a whole thing.
I don't have one, so I don't.
I don't either. That's over.
That's a great tip, though.
Work on those.
That is a good tip.
Work on those talks. And then back to the same thing that was said for external. Educate yourself, but this time let the focus be on what you need for your personal research. So let's say with the external, you know, you don't do African American research, but you have clients that need that. So you want to learn more about that. That would be the expert terminal. But I do African American research. So I might take, you know, USCT, learning more about USCT files and things like that. And that's going to assist me in my personal research. Do that scholarly reading that there's never enough time for. Get the how-to books for dummies, you know, learn more about the genealogical proof standard. Do what you need to do for yourself. And then this is the one you guys were already kind of talking about. Work on your trees. Now, don't do any research, but
don't do any research.
You know, find duplicates and merge them. You know, you will have to do a little to figure out what's right.
Clean your trees up.
Correct your errors. And I have to tell you, I have my heritage. I don't use my heritage probably as well as I should. But my heritage emails with the inconsistencies drive me crazy.
Me too. And I want to get in there and fix them.
Heritage does not have an automatic filter for people who should have died 200 years ago, you know, who couldn't possibly be living today. Whereas like on some of the other sites, they already assume those people are not living. But my heritage sends you these as inconsistencies. You know, Renate Yarborough-Sanders was born in 1757. You have not marked her as deceased or, you know, whatever. So they drive me nuts. I never go through all of them because I shouldn't have to mark those people as deceased. But this is a time you can go through your MyHeritage
and get it and get that fixed.
I didn't pay for Pro Tools on Ancestry, but I heard
I'm using it.
It's
exactly what you just explained. I am telling you, it is worth the $10. If
but nothing else, already did that. They didn't bother you if you didn't have somebody who was born in 1750 as deceased. Like it
but this is about duplications and stuff.
Oh, merges. Okay.
Yeah,
there's got to be a reason that MyHeritage does that. It would be interesting next time. Next time one of us is an assignment sees Daniel, let's ask him why they don't do that.
Bring him on. He hasn't been here.
There's got to be a reason that they do that, and maybe they just want you to take a second look at everybody, just so you're taking a second look.
And that's worth it too.
It is. So now you'll have time because you won't be doing research.
That's right.
I just started.
The very last one is work with your DNA. Set this pause time aside to focus on nothing but your DNA or learning how to use some of the new tools. Go ahead and get a Tier 1 membership on GEDmatch for a couple of months. Get a Pro Tools subscription for a couple of months. Take yourself higher. Learn about DNA Painter, learn about the Shared CM project, join DNA projects, and just take yourself one level higher at least.
That's what I need to do. I really need to do that.
And that's it. Those are the things that I suggest
that's
we
a
do.
lot.
That's a good list, though. Those are good.
Very good list.
Those are good.
Your suggestions have been wonderful, and I don't know if I'll ever give this talk again because like I told you at the beginning, it's only 9 slides, so it was made for that little 20-minute thing.
Yes. I think that you should expand it and propose it to Legacy. That'd be a great Legacy.
I think that would be a good one for everybody. That's a good option, and Legacy.
And then we can put underneath it recommended by GenFriends.
That's right.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. Thank you for letting me share that.
Of course, Laura. Did you have your hand up again? I thought you did, but maybe you did not.
No, I made a note on my piece of paper.
Oh, okay. Laura's taking notes.
Oh.
It's taking
names. No, I'm just kidding.
Renata, this has been so much fun. This is really been a lot of fun.
I can't believe I'm actually talking to you all instead of talking back to the computer. I'm with you.
Well, we love having you on, and
do.
You know, you can come back anytime. Just hop in. You got the link.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'd love to.
Hop in anytime.
Every Monday.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. And then when do you it goes out. It's not live right
usually,
now, right?
No, we usually put it out on Wednesday mornings unless I have some kind of tech issue. So yeah, so
it might as well be live because it's not edited. In fact, Cheri, you should add that GenFriends unedited.
And also Renata, she posted on Facebook, but also Twitter. So there's opportunities to spread it, to share it.
I will tag you. So and any link that you want me to add, just let me know. Just send it to me, and I'll add the links. And I'll add the link to your blog and all your stuff. Anything else that you want me to link so people can find you. Especially you guys, if you need a speaker for your Genealogical Historical Society or whatever, Renata is fabulous. I recommend everybody on this panel.
I was about to say everybody.
I was going to say yes, you could get half your year. Because there's 6 of us, right? You can get half a year scheduled. Anyway, so thank you, Renata, so much for being with us. And
thank you for having me.
Great ideas. And with that, we would love to hear if any of our viewers have done any of these things, or if you've got any more suggestions, that would be great. We would love to hear from you. We always love to hear from you. So with that, we will say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time on GenFriends. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.